Hey, welcome back. Notice anything different? Yes, this is a new shirt. Also, you might notice a small change on this face. It's the 24 Miata. A few small changes, let's go through them. Now, if you're not familiar with the Miata, I don't know where you've been. This car's been looking fine since '89, like me, and it's only 4 generations in, which speaks to its timeless design generation in and generation out. This one is the ND, 4th generation, which we've had around for about a decade, which seems like a long time, but this Kodo design is timeless. I'm absolutely in love with it. I drive one, my wife drives one, and I have a few friends that also drive one. This is a tiny rear-wheel drive 2-seater roadster with a long wheelbase, so it handles amazingly. It hugs curves in the canyons, it's a blast to take around corners, and although it doesn't look like a lot of power on paper, it's so light that it's all that you need to get around, and it's the most fun that you can have under the speed limit. This car has stayed true to its roots since its first generation, and it's one of the few that's still widely available with a manual transmission, which in my book is the right way to do it. It really accentuates Rinbaitai, which is Mazda's philosophy of horse and rider as one. Your connectedness to the car, which makes for a seamless driving interaction. And in this channel, we typically talk about dimensions to make sure this car will fit in your garage. In this case, I didn't even read the stats. Of course it's gonna fit. It's tiny. While many brands have taken liberty in their sizing, like Mini Cooper should really be a Mr. Cooper these days, the Miata has stayed about the same size since its launch, which I truly appreciate. Now let's talk about what's new in 2024. This is a brand new color called Aero Gray, which is a little bit flatter, and it really looks like a hat tip to Porsche's Arctic Gray to me. It might match the color of the road, but it does stand out on the road. Very sharp if you ask me. Now for the headlights, an obvious tweak. All the prior years of the ND had daytime running lights down below here, which we lovingly called the fangs. Now they're gone. We've got a fake air vent there. I'm gonna miss the fangs, but the DRLs are now moved up here, which should increase visibility during the day because they're sitting up a little bit higher. The other thing you'll notice here is this little block, which tweaks the symmetry of the grille, but it adds Mazda's radar cruise control, which should come in very handy on long road trips. Coming around the side, very sleek and sporty profile, especially in this variation, the RF, which I prefer. The Miata comes in 2 versions, the soft top or the RF, or retractable fastback. Both will have a roof that comes down. The soft top is everybody's favorite because it's got that completely open air feeling, but the RF will take the roof and that back window and tuck them under these flying buttresses. So it looks a bit like a Targa, and if you don't necessarily want a convertible, this is the answer. I drive mine like a coupe because melanoma is no joke. Now the wheels have a new design for 2024. The Grand Tourings will get this machine detail, while the Club will be all black, unless you go to the Brembo BBS package, which will get you some very tasty BBS wheels. The rear really shows off that low, wide stance, and while it's unchanged from last year, the taillights do see quite a bit of a change. This cluster is now full LED, it adds a lot more depth, and your reverse lights have moved up here, which again, increase visibility for the people behind you. They used to be down below here, and they've moved the reflector as well as a fake air vent down there. Now, I know you might be concerned about size and storage. Don't worry. I told you I drive one, my wife drives one. We don't have another car. Those are our daily drivers. And I go to my favorite wholesale provider. I never leave anything in the parking lot. This is more than enough space that we need for everything we gotta get. We've also taken one car up the coast, all the way to Washington to stay up there for the week. We brought everything that we needed and our dog. If you come in a little closer, this is what the trunk looks like. And Mazda designed this so that you could fit in a standard size carry-on, you could stuff a duffel bag right behind it, a couple of backpacks on the sides, and you can get creative with the nooks and crannies. Really, it's a non-issue for me. The only thing it doesn't pass is my tailgate test. It's a little tight. Now let's get inside. This is a much tighter cockpit than you'll find in other cars, but it's built around the driver, so it feels just right. Why don't you join me in the passenger seat? This is a very clean interior design without a lot of noise, which is exactly what you want in a sports car. A straightforward dash and a non-intrusive infotainment screen, which in this case is the biggest change. It goes to an 8.8-inch display with Mazda's new snappy Mazda Connect system, which has wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto in this case, and Alexa integration. Your AC dials are at a finger's reach from your shifter, and behind it, you've got your infotainment dial, which is going to control everything up there from a place where your hand falls without having to touch your screen. Behind it, you've got a little bit of storage, which isn't huge, but you can keep a pack of gum, sunglasses, $2.50 for donuts, whatever you want. And behind it, you've got your cup holders, which are modular. You can take them out if you need to for more space, and the passenger side could move up here. So if you're a lone driver, you can have your drink handy. Above your cup holders behind you is your lockable glove box, because you don't have one down here. But you do have one more storage cubby behind the passenger seat, and in the case of the soft top, you've got one behind the driver's seat too. And you may have already noticed, this here is not a manual transmission, which is worth talking about. Come around to the other side. One more thing about the automatic transmission, which is seldom talked about, and Mazda puts in all of their automatic cars, is the accelerator pedal kickdown switch. If you want to zoom in a little bit, the accelerator's hinged right on the floor, so if something falls and it's rolling around, it's not going to get stuck between the pedal and the floor. Now, when you bring the accelerator pedal to the floor, you think that you might be flooring it, but you can go a little bit further, and there's a hard click. That is the accelerator pedal kickdown switch. And that is your way of communicating to the car, I need the most torque that you can find me right now. So it'll figure out where it can downshift and just give you that nice boost without a turbo. While you're here, a quick tweak to the interior in 2024 is this leather-wrapped center console. It used to just be plastic before, and the panel right in front of it actually has some padding now. So if you're driving all day, like I might be sometimes, your knee's not gonna get too tired resting against that panel. Of course, this wouldn't be a Miata video if we didn't talk about the roof. In the soft top, it's a single-handed operation. In the RF, it's a single-fingered operation. So this little switch, you wanna press and hold. And on the dash, you've got a display showing the 4-stage process of the top going down in real time. The whole process takes about 13 seconds, so just be mindful of that if you're trying to do it at a light. You do have to wait for a final confirmation beep. There it is. It's a beautiful day, and I'm feeling too at home here. I'm a little antsy to drive, so I gotta give thanks to Huntington Beach Mazda for letting me borrow this car. If you want to test drive yourself, we'll take care of you here or at Tustin Mazda. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell me what you think of the new look in the comments. I'll see ya.